commanded us to be holy like he's holy is because Yochu Kamoini. It's possible that Yochel, it's possible that you could be like him. And you can say, I'm on the same level as the Eberster. Therefore, the Eberster says, nonetheless, my Kedusha will always remain beyond yours. But there's a place, according to Torah, to say that I can in some way equal to the Kedusha of Eberster. You follow? Otherwise, they wouldn't say, Yochel Kamani. What sort of a relevance does that have? Elamai is a simon that there is a certain basis to say that we are like the Kedusha of the Eberstein. It's just that ultimately you can't reach that because you can't reach the Kedusha of the Eberstein. But that's the whole Indian. But nowadays, I've heard, I'm unfortunately, when I say unfortunately, whatever, I don't spend my time keeping up with all the latest science, but I've heard that the scientists nowadays can't understand why a thing which is alive, why would it die? What causes the whole idea of deterioration and ultimately the whole idea of dying? They said it doesn't make any sense. That if you examine scientifically the whole inner of life, how a match is alive, and how the even parts, well, that life should be everlasting, should just go on forever. There's absolutely no reason why it should stop. There's nothing. That doesn't make any sense. Why does it stop? And why do things sort of weaken? And why? It's not mitzvah the chayas, it's mitzvah other factor. Now that's exactly what the Gemara said when I get to the Masechet Brachos with Rabbi Hanina ben Doisa. You know the story that there was a cobra snake that was causing trouble in a certain area. And so Rabbi Hanina ben Doisa came and he stood and he put his heel over the hole of the snake. And the snake came up and bit his heel. Yeah. And so what happened? The snake died, not him. You follow? The snake died, but not Rabbi. So everybody said, "What on earth are you doing, man?" You know. So he said, "No, it's very simple." He said, "The chait hu shemami, not the snake." He said, "It's the chait that causes death." He said, "It's not the snake." From that we see that there is a foreign influence which causes the deterioration of the chayes. And that's the inyan of chait. That's the inyan which is written in the Torah, the chait eitzadas. That's what brought the inyan is. Over mitzad the etzem ha'odam and the etzem chayes shaboy. What Yiddishkeit calls the nefesh or the neshama. It's everlasting. That's the inyan of Hashoras HaNefesh. Akrei Mizas Hagu. There's an everlastingness of the nefesh. Because there's no reason why ain't shum siva. According to Siddhar, it's a chele and it's a divine thing. Why should it pass? Why should it deteriorate? It doesn't. The body is into not good things, and therefore it's what's called sin. And therefore it passes away. Somebody is not into that. And that's what the Ramak said about, the Rizal said about the Ramak. Yeah. He said there was absolutely no reason why he should pass away. It's a famous eulogy, what the Rizal said about the Ramak. He was here, he was already here when it was the funeral of the Ramak. He said there's absolutely no reason why he should pass away. It just can't be. Elamai was a gezerah that because of the AIDS, because the AIDS adas, the Eibishter made a gezerah that certain people, even though they can't die, they're not available to us anymore. Why? Because we suffer from the AIDS, but they don't suffer, and therefore we can't communicate with them. They didn't die. And the Rebbe's got a whole sikh about it in Koach. in Pasha Kisei to Devorim, where what's on that pussy, the read or base, the whole, where has it written, ish mishpat moves, but so is a dependent. You must make it dependent only on the tree. Otherwise, there's no reason why he shouldn't just be over the whole time. That's the Ramak said. I'm sorry, the Arizal said about the Ramak. The Rebbe's got a whole beer about it. That's what the science is now saying today. They can't understand what's this whole mitzvah and why do people pass away? It doesn't make any sense. It's a foreign influence. That's what Rabbi Hanina ben Doiza said. That's what he said. That's the information. Gradually, all of the Inyonim are beginning they're all coming together. All the Inyonim, at the Rizal and the Maggid and the Alter Rebbe and the Baal Shem Tov and the Maggid and the Alter Rebbe, and all the Rabbein, all that they said is all beginning to click together. It's all beginning to make sense. You follow? And scientists like Professor Brunner says, he's still alive, Professor Brunner, that science and religion don't, on the contrary, the more science develops, the more it backs up religion. It doesn't disagree with religion. I once spoke with Professor Brunner personally about the whole Shmuzman, and he said it's a mistake. Those who go around saying the clash between science and religion, they simply don't know what they're talking about. They're not up to date. They belong to some old, He said, but the people who are really up to date, they know there's no steer. That science is just anyway revealing what the Torah has been saying for generations. 9 persons went to heaven alive. Yeah, that's what the Gemara brings. And the Gemara says over there that there are 4 people, they shouldn't have passed away. It's only because they ate of the Nochar. Over the Rizal said about the Ramak, it's only because they ate. He didn't mention the Nochar. So the Rebbe said that those 4 people mentioned in the Gemara, there must have been some little weeny part of them, even though they were tzaddikim Gemara, that still had a shaykhus with the word. You know? So therefore they still had a shaykhus to the power of the Nochar. Over the Arizal said about the Ramak, that he didn't have that either. It was only because the age was perfect. There was nothing wrong with the age. But it was the gezerah of the age of age. There was the gezerah that if you suffer from that, you can't converse with those. That's the whole thing. Yeah, the same thing. Yeah, I'm sure. Or it would be as a say that we do have the courage to converse with her through the egos and all sorts of things. That's in effect what science is timing nowadays. I heard it from somebody who's a big maven. It just makes sense out of that old Gemara was Rabbi Hanina ben Doiza. And Rabbi Hanina ben Doiza, the Gemara says about him that he was malumad but nisim. He was very, accustomed to nisim. Yeah, why? Because he wasn't under the limitation of the world. He lived in the real spiritual reality of what the neshama has to say. And he lived with that, and therefore he didn't have any problems. Therefore, the Gemara says about him that it's enough for him, a cup of charuvin for the whole week, he can live on that. He doesn't need any more. And that's what the Rabbi ate for 13 years in America. If you ever eaten a charuv, you must have a pretty strong stomach. And to eat them for 13 years, or like Rabbi Hanina ben Doiza, He, every week, that's all he ate. A cup of challah, the whole, except for Shabbat. He washed. That's the important time. Shabbos, he ate a kazaz lechem. Obviously, the whole week he just ate challah. Yeah. You know what a challah? I can't even take half of one. It cuts my stomach to pieces. And he munched them away all of his life. Yeah. You guys are battling. Aber keize, verwoesje, wel hele met de keuze de neshama. Maar de mensen doen, ja. And that's what the reason. And the Rebbe said, and why was there a Machzorah to that, even more than certain people mentioned in the Gemara, because his whole land was the Penimis HaTorah. And so the Rebbe writes at the end of the Sikh over there, anybody who really devotes himself to Pnimis HaTorah gets a Nissan square from the Ramah also to be like that. That's what he wrote. Oh, that's what the Rebbe says. Well, he's told that on stocks, you know. Aber keiner sagt. He steht da. Ja. Mami's Pillar. And that's what the Rizal was, Magali in the world. Unbelievable. And he walked around, who knows if he didn't just sit and teach just a stone's throw away from him, where was it? Okay, guys, listen, Tasu, Koach should be a chol. Let's try and be a little bit more than what we usually are. And don't say, well, I can't do this. You know. All right, so you're tired, slough yourself out for a few hours and get moving. Yeah. Let's see what happens. And build yourself in. We'll be with the Rebbe, take him, Mami, Poyom Mami. We see the Rebbe put so much into it, you know, and he was expecting so much of it. So let's get moving. Each one per reason. Not easy. I'm just trying to bring over the spirit of this amazing scene. And that's why it's become such a, what you might call, historical thing. Because, you know, the Rebbe never said things like that. No. So, be well, gentlemen. Have a good time. I'm just collecting out the remember that Rabbi Hanina Ben Deza said that only the snake died, not him, because it's only negativity that brings it up. Negativity.
The Sikhe gesagt, gewon Chop Ches. Chop Ches Nissan is Koach. Hier the Meile von Yechilis. The Meile von Yechilis.
Yeah.
It's a Koach.
Koach, yeah. I'm saying that the Yechilis is higher than Koach.
Koach darf man gar nicht in Yechilis.
What do you mean with Koach is that a Koach that can even reach into Yechilis. That's what he said in the secret. We're talking about a square for anything. In other words, we're blowing the normal purity of the word koach and we're elevating it to Yechilis. So be well, guys, and look after yourselves because you're very valuable. Yeah, the Rebbe wants us to get things done. And we got much more quiet than what we think. Oh, there's an old saying in English that stock it begins at home. You know, first and foremost, you know, you have to be positive, only positive. Positive. There's no thing which is not good. Everything is. It's just a question of being patient, and you'll see. Fine. And she was up at 4:30 this morning. It's good to remember those days.
Kom tanzen ein bisschen. Sag besser singen.
Ja.
Lelijk is geschmackelijk.
Scott, it's a good.
I absolutely will. This will be a highlight of my trip. I had no idea you were here. But in Hashemayim, they pulled some puppet strings. So you're saying a very geschmackelijk word, but the Rebbe is saying, Asuk kol asher b'yecholtechem. The Rebbe is referring not to Koach.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually, as you were speaking, I was thinking to myself, what would be an analogy? America's into fitness. I should learn something about it. America's into fitness. Okay? A strong person has Koach.
Yeah.
He does exercise.
Yeah.
He doesn't do exercise, he doesn't have Koach. But just because you don't do exercise doesn't mean you can't not have Koach. It's in your Yechilis to have that Koach. So it could be in the world of Koach, you don't have it.
You're gonna be months, you gotta bring it
You
down.
can create it. That's what Yechilis is. You have the potential to create it. I can't pick up today 300 pounds. I can't lift the bench press 300 pounds. I don't have the Koach. But I can't say I'm the Yechilis. That's not a true statement. You go to the gym every day and you work it out. Eventually you start picking up 300 pounds. Now listen. Listen, the Rebbe hits us over the head, you gotta do something about it. You know, the Rebbe's very nice about it. He says, well, I'm only asking for one or two guys to figure out the message. He realizes the rest of you guys, you're not like that. You too. Yes. Oh, good memories. Take a long conversation with you.